welcome to the front porch with Dr. Willie Davis at All Around the African World Museum. My name is Keith Gentry, and this is your host, Dr. Willie Davis. And what we're bringing you is part two of speaking about the underground legends that's here on the front porch. When we're right behind, you, of course, Wash Park. And for all those people that didn't understand, Wash Park is a landmark here in the state of Michigan. If you ain't never been here, take a tour to the museum and then walk over to Wash Park and see where superstar legends as far as Sam Vincent, Jay Vincent, and a number of others. So you get the opportunity to sit here with us and learn a little bit about the inner city and basketball that's here in Lansing, Michigan. And what we want to talk about today real quick is any of you guys that's out there that have any photos, if you have any videos from back in the days of some of these underground legends, please send them in to inlinelink.com or Keith@inlinelink.com or your email address, Dr. Davis?
DAMANY384@AOL.com.
And you can send your information in to us, and we'll put it on these versions and show some of these legends, photos and videos and so on, that people will be able to see. But what we want to do is finish about what we were going on last week, is about some of these players that are around here and some of the parks, because I done been speaking to different people and we didn't mention enough parks. Now, everybody knows, of course, what we're talking about is Wash Park. Me, myself, I'm from Benjamin Davis. You yourself being from Grand Rapids and talking about how small our parks are, because we only play 4-on-4 here. Did y'all play 4-on-4 there or 5?
They had some big courts. They had some 5-on-5 courts, but a lot of 4-on-4 and 3-on-3. But they weren't full-size courts, but we had a couple really full-size courts, and then some you might say 3/4 was full-size. Was quite a few of those. But we had a lot of bigger courts.
But now, even with the bigger courts, when we go out to Michigan State behind IM, right, that's one of the courts that people used to play is behind Michigan State. There's a court that we call it behind the IM, because it was behind the IM. And if you went out there to play, you got some good competition going on. But that was a huge court, and it was hard to be able to get guys to want to switch from that 4-on-4 and actually play that 5-on-5, because the crowd's up the court and players are not as, I want to say, as fluent or as good as they normally should be. But the idea of it is, with players that playing with that 4-on-4 gives you more room to have that individual talent, I believe. And being in the street game, I think that turns around and help you before you get into high school, when you got to play with a team that's organized and everybody's trying to get into the right spacing. By playing the 4-on-4 out here on some of these smaller courts, teaches you how to actually be in spaced out properly, because if not, you're in the dirt or you're in the grass. Yeah. And that's the way it was when I was growing up. You know, and like I said, being on the smaller courts here in Lansing, it was a normal thing that we did, is to be able to play like that. You know, but other courts that are here that everybody don't know about, I want to talk about Wright. Now, if y'all don't know about Wright used to have a basketball court until about 10 years ago. It may be a little longer than that. Wright was just like Peachtree in Atlanta. And if anybody ever been to Peachtree in Atlanta, on Saturday night, Friday nights, it's so much traffic that the traffic stops. That's how it was over there. There was the basketball court was so close to the road that it would stop the traffic, and kids would be everywhere trying to play out in Wright and Churchill down. And they wound up getting rid of it and putting tennis courts there instead of a basketball court because of all the crowd. You know what? That's where we have to find some other players from that side of town to know either they went to Georgetown, which was closer to the south side, or they went to Benjamin Davis, or they went down to Beachfield, which were all quite a distance. But Wright was so popular, and there were so many good players that came from that court, I have no idea where they went to. Actually, the Stanleys moved down the street from that court.
Before they moved across after.
After they lived over here on the east side. That's where they moved to a big house over there on the south side. Yep, it's where they moved.
Those was the days. Terry, Trap, and let's see, Terry. What was and
Terry?
Trap? What was Trap's first name?
I couldn't tell you.
I just know him as Trap.
Well, that's all I know. And just like with Terrell used to play on my men's team. I couldn't tell you their last name. Just like I said last week, I don't know nothing about Roach. You know, Roach was one of the greatest legends in Lansing. If y'all ain't heard that name, Roach, if anybody out there know any information, please send it in to us.
Came around here that was good too. Steve Austin turned out to be really tough too. Now he was good too.
Oh no, there's some players that's definitely.
And his brother too. You know, the Austins made a name. You had the Austins over here.
Oh no, I give it up to like my boy Shannon Love. You know, yeah, they all and Elliot when
James.
we. Oh yes, when we were young, I see Elliot turn around and go to the Main Street Park, bounce the ball. Y'all know anybody ever did this? And this is what I seen Elliot do as a kid. Now he older than me. Take the ball, bounce it off the pole, and then come back and dunk the ball. Right?
Wow.
I ain't never seen nobody else ever do that. But Elliot did that as a kid, so he get mentioned on this porch, right? I mean, for that alone. And Elliot is a known player that's around here that's now referee for all these AAU kids and so on. I don't know what year he played. I think he played before Sam them or after Sam them.
I think he might have been with Sam.
He might. No, I don't think he played on their team.
No, okay.
Because that team was loaded.
Both of them was at Eastern.
Yeah, no. Elliot went to Eastern. He had to because he's from over here.
Yeah, no, but I meant both Sam and Jay went to Eastern. So I can't remember. I think Elliot might have been a little bit before that.
Okay.
I think Elliot was with Irvin James. Mm-hmm.
I don't think because Irvin played with Sam.
Shannon was younger than Elliot.
Yep, and Shannon still didn't play with Sam them either. Irvin played with a little after Sam, and and Irvin them, their teams were great, but they wasn't state championship great. You know what I'm saying?
So Elliot's like maybe just under Sam then.
Yeah, have to be just under Sam or a little older in between there, because I don't know if he played with Jay. How much difference is Jay and Sam from each other, age difference?
I think they still around the same time.
Well, because Jay had already graduated from Michigan State before Sam even went to Michigan State. Okay. So there's a 4-year difference between those two brothers, right? At least that many years.
Yeah, I think Elliot's kind of close to around Magic and them. I think.
Oh, that may be true.
Yeah, I think he around Jay. He with Jay.
Okay, that may be true.
I think he with Jay.
Yeah, but he was one of those ones that played on
Jay's time, maybe a year behind, a year before.
Yeah, but he was one of those ones that not only played as a young man growing up, but he took his talent and he tried to turn around and give back to the city by helping with the referees, and I see him out there. And that's one of the things that I think that a lot that is lost right now is fathers and other people teaching people how to play, actually training them, because it all started when they got to the individual playing with Marcus Taylor. And if y'all know who Marcus Taylor is, Marcus Taylor was a young man that went to Waverly, never, ever, ever played at a park. If anybody out there know Marcus Taylor that went to Michigan State and then he turned around and left and tried to go pro, and that's a whole different story.
Yeah, I remember Marcus.
Right, but his dad trained him, and I believe he was the first one here in Lansing actually having training. His dad would bring him up to the parks, and his dad would never let him play with nobody. His dad would keep him on the sideline. It could be 7 people out there, and we needed 8, and we needed him to play, but his dad would never. Yes. Yes. He said tennis we being taken.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I no, I understand, but still, but his dad did that and was the first one, I believe, to turn around and change Lansing from players just playing in the park to now going into the gyms, having trainers to turn around and train them instead of them playing in the park.
Because you've gotten a strong crop of good basketball players that have come out of Lansing.
Extremely.
You got the Valentines. You've got a steady string of pros coming out of Lansing, and I don't know if that's just necessarily to Lansing. I don't think you see people at parks anywhere. I really don't think that's just part of the terrain that kids and stuff go through now. Because I go to a lot of cities, I don't never see nobody at the park.
No.
A couple, 1 or 2 people here, but not. I mean, back in the day, it'd be 50, 60 people at the
Right.
park.
Well, you can tell me all kinds of stories about.
At the basketball court.
Right. You can tell me all kinds of stories.
You don't see that nowhere.
With Sam and Jay and them being right here at the basketball court, but when my kids was growing up, no way they would step foot on those
I didn't
courts.
see Sam and Jay up there at the court.
They didn't play up at Watch Park with you?
Well, I think they played. I think most of the high school players back in them days stayed away from the park.
Okay.
Yes.
And most of the players that I knew, didn't turn around and try to do anything besides go to the park and play and do what they regularly do. What no training, what no weightlifting, no fathers.
I think as civil rights moved on further, we started getting the same places that the white kids had, the gyms, the places. You ever notice back in the day, all the white kids had basketball things in their yard.
Right.
All of them. You could go down the street and you saw a rim and a ball. All of them. That wasn't at our houses in the neighborhood.
Well, that's why.
So now we have access to, I find, many of those privileged places that because of the civil rights struggle and people pushing to get us into schools and better conditions and stuff too. Lansing, for example, I mean, you got Geyer. I mean, you got.
And Geyer Park is one of them.
You got Let Center. You got Foster Park. You got all these community centers here, and most of them are very few people you see.
Well,
you don't even see the kids in them. I mean, we had a summer program at the Let Center, and they made an effort to go get them, and so they came. But it's almost like you can do more at home than you can.
Well, yes, today because you can buy a video that'll train your kid off of YouTube.
Yeah.
But in our days, well, when I was growing up, and even when Sam and Jay and Irvin them was growing up, somebody had to take them to the park and actually show them something. Either if their parents didn't, it had to be one of the older gentlemen in the hood like yourself to be able to teach the younger kids how to do things. Because if not, today you just go out and hire a trainer to be able to do it.
And you can go to all the. Lansing is a unique place anyway. I wouldn't consider Lansing like, say, the Detroit, Chicago and stuff. Certainly got some of the same things going on. You tend to see a higher level of technology throughout everywhere that you go, whether you're in black neighborhoods or white neighborhoods. You still may not have as much as in white neighborhoods, but you still have some. I come from a period of time where there was everything in the white neighborhood and nothing in the black neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've seen those kinds of changes that have occurred.
Well,
And you see, you were speaking of the tenacity of players before, how they get mean toward each other, that true grit, that heart. I don't know if you really see young people thinking that's so important no more.
No.
It ain't important to be better than the next person, to me.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
I went to a high
that's
school
what
game,
it is.
and the dude
Yeah, it ain't important.
dunked on the team like 5 times, and they was just bowing down to the guy just because you stopped that guy. You from Lansing. You put your elbow into him. You don't accept that. But today's time, because they don't made friends, they accept that.
And it's also has become a game of skill level more so than, but you can't touch people no more.
No, well,
Really, Curry and them couldn't have been doing nothing against Zeke and them.
No.
Oh, no.
Hey.
Ain't no way none of that could happen.
I swear the Pistons came down to Benjamin Davis and will sit there where the game is 10-10 and there's 50 people sitting on the sideline and they turned around and saw how hard those people play, right? And that's where the Pistons got their whole thing for the bad boys come from right here in Lansing.
That's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, about the Pistons.
Yeah, they wouldn't take it.
Ask Michael Jordan about the Pistons. No, you can't do all this and that. But if you do it, it's going to be some pain involved now.
Hey.
You can come on in here with all that.
That's right.
Yeah, you're going to...
It's a different...
Look who we had. Man, come on, wait a minute. He had Z, Dumas, Mahorn, Mahorn, and Rodman.
Yeah.
And then Lambeer.
Yeah.
Lambeer would hit you when you was down. Oh. I would watch him.
Well,
they'd fall to the ground. Lambeer.
Hey, when you at these parks here and there's 50 people trying to play and the game is 10-10, let me tell you, they will knock you to the ground. Ain't no... What's going to happen when we lose? I got to go home to my mama, and she going to make me clean the house because there wasn't no videos, wasn't none of that stuff. So when I came home, my day was done. I could not lose. That's how important it was.
I remember the thing, you have a 30-minute game, a 10-minute game take you 30 minutes.
Oh, exactly.
And almost fight. You're going to have 5 near fights.
Exactly.
Exactly. You have 5 near fights every game.
And it ain't like that no more. Yeah. It is not like that no more. And just the attitude, because we on video, and this is on video, and all the people out there that know me and the ones that don't know me, ain't nobody we talking about here on this court, on this front porch, can turn around and play with me. I felt I was the baddest there ever was.
And Allen Iverson probably, like I said, in many ways made...
Remember where it was, but going back, where I was the type of person that I never took anything from anybody. I felt like I had so much heart because I didn't want nobody to be better than me. I come from these courts, and these courts, every time you stepped on the court, you had to be better than the guy that was in front of you. And you had to work to be able to do that without getting out there practicing like today's guys being able to shoot 1,000 shots without nobody guarding them or anything. And then not having nobody train you, you had to get to the court and hope that you could play one-on-one against somebody so that you could turn around and better your skills. Because other than that, it was 5-on-5, 4-on-4, running up and down that court all day, and not wanting to be embarrassed by somebody, because you had guys out there that could flat out play and they knew it, and they talk smack when we grew up because you didn't have that friendship where they play AAU and they know you from this town and they got respect for you. I don't think none of these guys that we grew up and mentioned had respect for each other.
They'll say one day Doc Davis just went out there and pooped.
Oh,
he just went out there and just pooped.
Hey, and part of the reason why we even do this, because Dr. Davis will walk up on you and talk about, hey, you know what my nickname is, Pull. So I'm just going to pull on you. And I'm like, what the heck? And Dr. Davis is only 5'6", y'all.
Oh,
right? He only 5'6".
Wait. A little bit.
A little bit taller than 5'6". Oh, okay. Well, you would have to pull because I would have to turn around and throw that back. I can't have that. And then we talk about
No, that's gonna be unexpected.
Oh man, and see, like I said, I was an athlete, so I'm up there. As soon as you getting up there, I'm jumping like crazy. And then because there ain't no referee, I don't care about fouling you.
Okay, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I think you got to wrap up.
Yeah.
I was known to say too late. Sometimes I say count them.
Hey, no, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to talk that smack.
That was the day.
Man, I got players that I got a cousin that would every time he shoot, I'm gonna mention him. Elmer Fudd, he got mentioned on the porch, right? Elmer Fudd, my cousin, he grew up with Magic, and every time you see him, he gonna tell you that one time that he played with Magic at the park and he was schooling Magic. Yak! Y'all know the Fudd. Hey y'all, we gonna let y'all go tonight, and we got a different guest next week. All right, on the front porch with Dr. Willie Davis at All Around the African World Museum, y'all. See y'all.